and welcome back to Cumbria. Today we're back in the Lake District. We are, as you can see, next to Haweswater. Today's walk is about 6.5 miles. We start off walking along the road next to Haweswater, up the Old Corpse Road, which we're on now, and then back across the top, having a look at some of the construction when Haweswater was originally built. We'll finish by coming back down Gatescarth Pass to back down to the lake. Let's go.
Today's walk starts from the free car park at Mardale Head, which sits at the end of Haweswater Access Road and above what was once the village of Mardale Green. The village was demolished in the 1930s by the army and then submerged as part of the construction of the Haweswater Reservoir. The only surviving building was the church, which was rebuilt as the reservoir's water tower, and human remains transferred to the mother church in Shap. The remains of the village walls are visible today, and in very dry summers much more of the village reappears, including a bridge.
Originally a small lake surrounded by farmland and the high fells, the valley was flooded in the 1930s to become the reservoir we see today, which supplies about a quarter of northwest England's water. An engineering marvel of its time, the 470-metre long dam was the first hollow buttress dam in the world. Today, it's the most easterly lake in the Lake District, with ongoing rewilding efforts by its owners United Utilities and the RSPB. Almost 100 years on from its construction, a major programme to refurbish the Haweswater Aqueduct is planned for 2026.
The Old Corpse Road was a coffin route which ran from Mardale to Sacred Ground at Shap, which had its own abbey. Corpse roads were common in remote rural areas which didn't have their own burial grounds to be able to bury the dead. This one ran from Swindale Head and served until the 18th century when Mardale gained its own burial ground. There are 3 ruined huts on this ascent, with 2 with walls still standing. These were likely shepherd huts for shelter or peat huts to dry peat for heating and agriculture.
If you follow the path up the Old Corpse Road and then turn off to head up to Selside, if you plod on up that path and don't look back, then unfortunately miss beautiful views over Swindale. But if you're ready for a cup of tea, you are going to have to bring your own. There isn't a cafe here, but it's a really good picnic spot. Then do stop off here at Blake Dodd, where you get a beautiful view back over Swindale, which you just don't get from the path. It is gorgeous, and the Old Corpse Road would have carried on along it to Shap, which you can also see in the far distance. So do have a stop here for a view. The gentle climb from Blake Dodd takes us away from Swindale and brings us to the top of 655 metre high Selside Pike, marked by a large stone shelter. The smooth grassy summit means views from the top are limited to the summit tops, aside from the east facing the North Pennines, and without a map it can be hard to choose the right route down. The next section of walk takes us down through Captain Welter Bog, which is muddy even in this dry spell, and so boots and waterproof socks are recommended.
Approaching Artle Crag and Branstree, the large slate survey pillar comes into view. This is a remnant from the construction of Haweswater Reservoir in the 1930s. It was used to route an aqueduct from the reservoir through beneath the fells to just the south of Sadgill and then eventually onto Manchester. Have a look at our Lansdale video for more survey pillars and hear about the reservoir's construction.
At 713 metres, Branstree is the highest point on today's walk and home to an unusual buried circular concrete trig point, which you don't see until you're right on top of it. Similar to Selside Pike, its flat summit means views are limited, but soon open up on the way back down to the pass. Even on a dry day without too much bog across the top to trudge through, it's a good feeling knowing it's all downhill from here. Dropping off Branstree brings you back down to Gatescarth Pass, which is just behind me here. If you head this way down it, then you end up in Longsleddale. We don't want to do that today because our car's the opposite direction. But if you want to see more about that, then do check out our Longsleddale video. You can also go on up to Harterfell, but I think we've had enough ups for today, so we are going to go this way and head back down to Haweswater and back down to the car. Let's go.
We meet Gatescarth Pass at its high point of 580 metres between Mardale and Longsleddale. Prior to tarmac roads and the submersion of Mardale Green, this would have provided a trade route over to Longsleddale. This side of the pass is steeper and rougher than the Longsleddale side, zigzagging its way back down towards Haweswater and overhung by the crags on the side of Harterfell.